Hello, my name's Tim. This is the Silver Coder, and in today's video, it starts with OpenSSL, and we'll probably cover lots of little bits because we're going to be looking at OpenSSL DLLs, where they should be installed, versions. What does my development environment support, etc. And also at the outset, I want to say that this is not a criticism of anyone, any version of software or anything, and maybe this what we're going to talk about here may also come about or may reflect on my environment here, and yeah, go from there. So what I also want to point out then is that as a developer, I had mainly used Indy components and OpenSSL that came with Delphi used the OpenSSL DLLs, and they are the lib EAY 32 SSL and the SSL EAY 32. Typically, we would have put those DLLs in the same folder as the executable. You can, but if they get removed or something, then Windows has a mechanism for how it will try and locate the DLLs, which means going to the path, or it may look in the Windows folder. But these can cause other problems. So as far as OpenSSL is concerned, when let's just say if it's not working, then the error will be in one of two places, I would say. Either there is a mismatch in the versions of your software versus what the DLL's looking for, or you can't find them in the path, or in relation to the mismatch, there are some big changes in the DLL whereby parameters change, and things like that. And my big tip here really is that when it comes to installing DLLs, if you have them in the same folder as your program, then Windows will use the DLL in the same folder. So I will also point out here that I was searching for something a little while ago, and as a result of that, I installed I think CodeTyphon. I think that's what it's called, and I was just going to I haven't really used it, but it's what I had open at the same time. And CodeTyphon, by the way, it also uses free Pascal, and I thought, well, okay, it's open, I don't want to have to jump into Lazarus to have a look at this, and so onwards I went. Now again, we're going back to the issue about the what DLLs and where they're loaded, or the error message. Well, in actual fact, I did actually look for the error message which the user received, and I couldn't find that anywhere. So the next step is to find out what the where the DLLs are loaded, and start there. So in CodeTyphon, what I found was, and if we look here, this is what, let's say, greeted me as far as the DLLs, which is much different to what I would have used previously in Delphi. And it got me thinking, so okay, so now we can look for multiple or different DLLs, to use. And when I found out when I looked at the post and what version we were trying to use, well, it should work, so they must, the DLL mustn't have been, installed, or it can't, yeah, the DLLs just can't be found, really. So, and then I thought, well, okay, but in this particular case here, we're using Lazarus, so really I should probably go and look in the Lazarus application. And then I went to opened up the same file from within Lazarus, and this file is here, and it looks a lot different. So so we've got our DLLs being mentioned here, and I thought, well, okay, other than the obvious difference here, is there any information in these programs or these units of source code which gives me some idea of what we're looking at? And I can see here that, okay, we're going down to 2005. I've got a little bit of history here. Okay, there's also this stuff here, and if we go into this one here, go up to the very top, yes, there are some differences. That all looks similar, that looks the same, a little bit different, but and I'm not, by the way, I'm not expecting anyone to annotate their changes in every version, so I just know there's a difference. And by the way, both Lazarus and CodeTyphon, they both have their own copy of Free Pascal here. And maybe one could argue that, well, maybe I should have only one version and somehow point, both Lazarus and CodeTyphon to the one version of Free Pascal, but then what version do I have? And I can tell you that if I do run, I do know that I do have, it was saying here that under Lazarus I'm using 3.2.2 at least of, and so I've got these two differences, and I'm thinking, well, how can one have one and the other has, something else? And I was wondering about, well, what does Free Pascal show in GitHub? And this is the FPC source here, and it looks like this, which is bears a lot closer resemblance to what I have installed in the both compilers, and so it's basically as close to the, looks like the CodeTyphon one, except I think there's a bit more space. No, the spacing, yeah, no, they're spaced out here. So, and then, well, why would he have that problem so why would we, why is now my version here different to what's up on GitHub? That is a question which I will consider in another time. My next question that it did raise for me, though, is if we're looking at version 3, what does Indy do in this sort of space here? Here were the questions then that I have in regards to, let's say, both packages. I have packages being Free Pascal under Lazarus and Free Pascal under CodeTyphon. And part of that then is knowing what version of knowing the capabilities or what version of components work that you have that come with the software out of the box. And if you know that it's let's say versions 1.x or 2, then then it puts a different set of question that I thought to myself, well, okay, so if the version on GitHub is newer than what I have, what stops me from downloading that one package? But if I do download that one package, what are the consequences of that? What will break? Should I just download a whole new version of free Pascal maybe and compile it from scratch? It also, going down another rabbit hole then was, well, what information is present in the help files that come with the software? And I'm not going to go down that particular road, mainly because no software really today is perfect when it comes to documentation. Back in the 90s, I can remember when I had a ball and C compiler, I was given 5 books with that you just quickly rifle through for information, and back then things weren't as complex as they are now. So, and something like, let's say, Lazarus or CodeTyphon, they don't have the resources, I would say, to be able to have everything documented as one might like. So, but it also got me thinking on a tangent then is to, well, what else don't I know because I can't find it because it's not documented, and that is a whole nother video. So where do we go from here? So I guess the questions, or what can we take out of this particular video? I would say the first part is to have an understanding or know what versions of third-party tools your development environment supports. Like, is it 1.x, is it version 2 of something? If my version doesn't support the one that I need to use, is it available in some sort of update? Or has someone worked on it, or are they working on it? And if they are working on it, then and we're talking about something that is open source, can I help? Or can I, or can I? I'd be interested in your thoughts in this area, because the changes for version 3 in OpenSSL right now seem to be large enough that like I said, I'm interested in hearing your thoughts. So until next time, happy coding, and I hope you got something out of this video, and don't forget to like and subscribe and share your thoughts below. I'm looking forward to hearing from you all. Thank you, and bye for now.